Alright guys, welcome back. Welcome to this week's episode. We are live from Fukuoka. This I'm here with my family because today is a special episode. We're not going fishing. We are going to Matsuri. We're going to talk about Matsuri, Obon, and the Japanese festivals of summer and what they mean. Because if you come here, you're not trying to go there and look like a fool, as my child screams. We're also walking through the ghetto of Fukuoka, also known as Love Alley Hotel, so I'll catch you in a few. Fukuoka is the largest city in Kyushu, the southern island of Japan. Its population is well over 1 million, and it's well known for street vendors and large markets. Also, it is the final stop of the Shinkansen connecting it to mainland Japan. Matsuri is held in August, also known as the 7th month according to the Chinese calendar. It is a festival that is bright, fun, and attracts children and adults of all ages. Many of the stalls there are primarily towards children, as games to collect balls that are kind of similar to yo-yos, or catching fish with a paper net are some of the traditional games that children can play. I can't express how much my son loves this and looks forward to it during summertime. Some of the traditional food vendors are shaved ice with toppings such as like blue Hawaii, pineapple, strawberry, and they go for about $3. They really set the mood and make it seem like summer. As far as dress code goes, there is no inappropriate way, but know that as a foreigner, showing skin is kind of a no-no. The festival dancing will last for hours, so try and pace yourself, as remember, most of these festivals take course at night, and it's still 90 degrees most of the time. Food is one of the best parts of Matsuri, as you can find popcorn, fried chicken, also known as karage, assorted fish, and anything that basically you want to look for in a summer carnival. Alright guys, so that it was Matsuri. We are headed home. The little one is exhausted. In a couple days we're gonna do Obon, and we're gonna talk about Obon, but for you it's gonna be a few seconds, so I'll see you in a few. Hey guys, so welcome back. I'm in my house, and obviously we had a great time at Matsuri. So I wanted to break down exactly what you just saw, so you have a better understanding. As a Westerner, especially growing up in America. As for me, I grew up in Los Angeles. So I did have a lot of cultural reference to Japanese history because we have Little Tokyo, and a lot of my friends in my hometown were Japanese. But I didn't fully understand what I was witnessing or going to when I went to Matsuri, or participated a little bit in Bon, which is Obon, until I actually moved to Japan about 9, 10 years ago. It's crazy how time flies. But so Matsuri is a festival in summertime to basically pay homage to the gods, to thank them for great weather, to thank them for different things. You have to understand here that less than 200, 300 years ago, Japan wasn't Japan. Japan was a bunch of prefectures ruled by overlords. And until those overlords were overthrown by what we know as the shogun, which is shogun, and unified Japan, Japan was basically a bunch of different hostile states. Um, you have to think of it as American terms, as if every single state in the republic in the Union of the United States would be a separate, basically, country. That's kind of how it was here for thousands of years. And they all have different flags and different cultures, but they all basically celebrate Matsuri because Matsuri is tied into Shinto. There's two major religions here in Japan, which is Shinto and Buddhism. Buddhism is the more popular. Shinto is more of a classical. And when we think of religion here in Japan, don't think of it in the means of Christianity, Muslim, Judaism. No. Religion here is not really hardly practiced, but it's believed in, if that makes sense. So it's more of a cultural, I'm going to do my stuff on New Year's. I'm going to do my stuff for Matsuri and Obon. I'm going to do my stuff for these set dates. But it doesn't necessarily mean people believe in it, as weird as that means. So it's kind of like if you're not a Christian, but you still celebrate Christmas because you like presents and Santa Claus and all that good stuff. If that makes sense. But Obon is the next up on the plate. And Obon is very, very important here in Japan. And it's why I'm doing a whole episode on it. So, according to the mythology, in the 7th month, which we know as July, but the Japanese know as August because of a different calendar, because they went by a Chinese calendar in the old days until recently, which makes that August. In the second week, you're supposed to pay homage to the dead. So you're going to go to the gravesite, you're going to go clean your ancestors' grave sites, you're going to sit with them, you're going to have a meal. Very close to what I grew up in Los Angeles is Dias de los Muertos, so Day of the Dead. We see Disney movies celebrating it now, and different cultures actually picking up on it. In Western mythology, it's Halloween, but Halloween's celebrated a lot differently now. So it's kind of cool how each culture basically celebrates the same thing. But it is a several day festival here. So starting on over the weekend for this prefecture, but mostly from Tuesday to Thursday during the second week, which is where we're at. Because today is the 14th, it's 13th to 15th. So back to going to it, you go to the grave site, you celebrate, and you're supposed to welcome back your relatives' spirits with you into the home. And there's particulars that you're going to do within the home, have meals, do things, and you're going to have on your little shrine, which we have a shrine in our house, to our cat, which passed away. And then we have pictures of family members, those that we loved, sitting there as well. But if the member never set foot in Japan, isn't Buddhist, Shinto, or Japanese, this doesn't necessarily apply to them. So there's a lot of little complicated rules. But on the last night of Obon, you're supposed to put a lantern onto the water that leads to the sea. And as you're taking this lantern from your house to the water, they're going to have fireworks everywhere. And the fireworks you're going to see in the next part of this episode, they ward off bad spirits. So your loved ones can return back to sea. And going back to sea on this lantern represents going back into the spiritual world. Tied with that, again, most people don't do this anymore. You're not supposed to go into the ocean. You're not supposed to touch the ocean. You can go to the beach because it is your holiday, but not the water. So that is a little weird. But back in the old days, because this is peak season for jellyfish, they thought the jellyfish were souls. So a lot of, different stuff that you see in this that is really particular and is pretty cool. But I'll stop talking and I'll show you what Obon is all about. I wanted to give you guys a quick reference. This is our home shrine, mostly dedicated to our cat that passed away a few years ago. Alright guys, it is the night of Obon. It is 6:30 right now. I'm headed to two spots tonight. Two. I'm literally watching all my neighbors take off at about the same time. So what you're about to see right now is the part of the festival that I was talking about, where they take their boats and they put them out to sea, basically symbolizing that their loved ones are departing. Like, all the neighbors in the neighborhood are here. They've all been cooking, eating together. Everyone was home. My son was actually home today. My wife's not feeling all that great because it is stupid hot here. Like, just ungodly hot. And it's that kind of weather that every afternoon it thunder and lightning, like huge storms, because the heat just basically creates a storm and just makes her feel like crap. Trash. Sorry. I'm not going to stay out too long because, number one, this is like a private thing, but I want to share it with you guys because it is something that is very unique. I find it super interesting. But two, last night my cat woke me up at like 1. He got a huntsman spider. I'll put a picture up. I'm passing a float right now. But he got a huntsman spider, and the thing was like literally the size of my face, so he was trying to eat it. And then a bunch of other spiders that I guess that spider was hunting were there. So yeah, there's super fun. So I've literally been up all night. Yeah, so I'll stop talking here because I'm literally passing floats. Some of these things are the size of cars. Others are just handheld. Like, I guess I'm just following my neighbors. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. As I came to the general area where the event was being held, more and more floats were appearing. Most people carry these several miles from their houses, so they are pretty tired by the time they come there. The local authorities and volunteer groups that are set up in the local communities run this event, which I often give water to them because it is hot and can't thank them enough what it means to our community. These floats that you see here represent families, and each lantern is dedicated to one person. Some floats are extremely large as their families basically go back generations. Remember, these are dedicated to loved ones that have passed away in your prefecture. So some of these families So that being said, guys, thank you for watching this week's episode.